2 planes, 1 runway, and a single misunderstanding that changed aviation forever. This is the story of the deadliest plane crash in history, and how it happened without either aircraft ever leaving the ground. On March 27, 1977, 2 fully loaded Boeing 747 jumbo jets sat on a fog-covered runway at a small airport in Spain. What followed would claim hundreds of lives and permanently change how pilots communicate. This is the story of the Tenerife Airport Disaster. The day began like any other. Los Rodeos Airport on the island of Tenerife was never meant to handle massive international aircraft. But that afternoon, several large planes were diverted there after a bomb threat forced the closure of a nearby airport. Suddenly, the small airport became overcrowded. Pilots waited. Passengers grew restless. Air traffic controllers became overwhelmed. As delays stretched on, thick fog slowly rolled in, reducing visibility to almost nothing. Among the aircraft waiting were 2 Boeing 747s, the largest passenger planes in the world at the time. Both were fully loaded, with hundreds of people eager to continue their journeys. No one realized how close they were to disaster. Rising tension, confusion on the runway, 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock. As the fog thickened, air traffic control instructed planes to taxi along the runway itself, something rarely done today. 1 jumbo jet began moving down the runway to prepare for takeoff. The other aircraft was still taxiing in the same direction, searching for an exit it could barely see through the fog. At this point, radio communication became critical. But that's where everything started to break down. Controllers used non-standard phrasing. Pilots heard what they expected to hear. Static interrupted keywords. Then, a sentence was spoken that would later haunt aviation history. "You are cleared for takeoff." But that clearance was not actually given. Believing they had permission, one aircraft accelerated down the fog-covered runway. Inside the cockpit, the crew could see nothing ahead. Inside the other aircraft, pilots suddenly saw bright landing lights emerging from the mist, directly in front of them. They tried to turn. They tried to accelerate. They tried to escape. But at that speed, there was no time left. The collision happened at full throttle. The impact and resulting fire destroyed both aircraft. Rescue teams struggled to reach the scene through thick fog and intense flames. When the smoke finally cleared, 583 lives were lost. It remains the deadliest accident in aviation history. But the tragedy didn't end there because investigators needed to understand how this could happen without a single mechanical failure. The investigation revealed a devastating truth. This crash was caused by human factors, not technology. Key issues included miscommunication between pilots and air traffic control, non-standard radio phraseology, a cockpit hierarchy that discouraged junior crew members from speaking up, poor visibility and severe airport congestion. No alarms failed, no engines malfunctioned. The system failed because people misunderstood each other. The Tenerife disaster transformed aviation safety worldwide. As a direct result, standardized radio phraseology was introduced. Crew resource management training became mandatory. Co-pilots were encouraged to challenge captains. Clear communication became a top safety priority. Every commercial flight today is safer because of the lessons learned from this tragedy. The Tenerife disaster reminds us that even the most advanced machines depend on clear communication and human judgment. Sometimes, the smallest misunderstanding can have the greatest consequences. This was moments before impact.